Good morning.
I feel like it's been so long since we've done this.
I've been gone for 2 weeks in a row. I was traveling, and so you took over last week. So I really appreciate that. So
I always feel so
finally better
awkward a
again.
little bit when you're talking to yourself about the news versus having, you to banter with.
I agree 1,000%. So well, guys, thank you so much for joining. It is Today in Travel, where we discuss all things related to travel. We have some cool cruise news today, some airline news, some theme park news today. So
We've got a lot to talk about.
we have a lot to talk about. So, guys, if you're just joining us, I'm Jason Poole, a travel advisor. Love talking about all things travel with this lovely lady. If someone's watching for the first time, introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Haley. I'm the owner at Hospitality with a Flair. It's a hotel sales support company with an amazing team there. And I'm also the writer for HaleyWithAFlair.com because I just, hate staying home and having free time.
That is so funny. So, all right, guys. Well, let's dig into the news. I went
Well,
to
before we
Iceland.
get to the news, let's talk about you for a second because you have
Yeah,
been gone for
sure.
2 weeks.
Sure. Yeah. So I went to Iceland and I went on a brand new cruise line for me. So sailed with Windstar. Um, I had a little bit of disruption from all that crowd source stuff, some canceled flights, but finally made it to Reykjavik. Lovely, lovely town. I didn't get to spend as much time as I wanted in Reykjavik, but it was beautiful. I saw the Edition Hotel. Beautiful, beautiful. Iceland is, it reminds me of Alaska before it became a little more commercialized. So we went to this one town that had like 700 people in this one town. Okay. Like teeny tiny little town.
So no
Um,
Diamonds International.
no, no, no. And Iceland actually, speaking of Alaska, I'm actually drinking from my Alaska cup. Iceland reminded me of Alaska in a way of you can be as active and adventurous as you want, or you can kind of take it easy, enjoy the scenery, walk around town. And I went on one long hike. I think it was like a 5 mile hike. That was all the waterfall pictures I took. Stunning. I mean, really, it was beautiful. And you could be as active as you wanted. Like there were people who went to like these sulfur baths. They were all complaining their swimming suits smelled like sulfur and they were never going to get it out. So I did not do that. But you could be as active as you wanted, relaxing as you wanted. And One Star also did a really good job. They had lots of excursions at all the ports. And that was probably second, my second smallest sailing. Like Galapagos with 100 was my smallest. This had like 290 people on board.
Okay.
So very small, and they really have a nice product. It's a small ship, but it's more casual. So a lot of times people think small ships, they think, the Regents, the Silver, the Seabourns, they've got, Emerald, Scenic, they got to like dress up, which is actually not true. But Windstar is like very casual. Okay. Like I think it would be great for that person who's done a lot of Royal Caribbean. They like the relaxed nature of Royal Caribbean, but they want to start visiting destinations that Royal just can't go to because of the size of the ships.
Took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to ask you who it's for.
Yeah, right. So I think it's great for those kind of people. Great for people, you don't have to dress up in the dining room. Very casual. I'll say customer service was exemplary. I mean, I've been on a lot of cruise ships. This might be some of the best customer service I've ever experienced. I mean, it was extraordinarily
And
amazing.
that's what, can set something apart. Like, one of, going back to yesteryear, one of my all-time favorite ships for a while with Royal was Empress
Yeah,
because the
right.
service on board, we had been a couple times, was just incredible. And service can just, even take like maybe an older ship that's still clean, it's still kept up, and bring it to that next level when you have that level of service.
Yeah,
Now,
Yeah, I mean, this ship was old. I mean, it's from like the 80s, and it shockingly didn't really look like it. They did a good job keeping it up to date. They are building some new ships that are coming in the fleet, brand new ones. But I was nervous about being on a ship that old, but it really wasn't that big of a deal, honestly. And the service, like you said, elevated the entire. I mean, literally, I knew it was going to be a good customer service when I was walking to the ship. The hotel director was outside for hours, shaking every guest hand, welcoming them on board.
And that's a huge difference.
It is a huge difference. I mean, but you can do that when you're the hotel director for a ship that holds like 290 something people, right?
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Windstar kind of has two versions of ships.
Yes.
For those that might not be aware of that, can you describe what that?
Yep. So they have their traditional ocean ships. It's what you think of, ocean ship, small, exactly what you think of. They also have the motorized sailing ship. So like think of like the actual like hoist the sails. Those ships also do have motors in case you can't get the winds to carry you, but they're even smaller. I don't have the number at the top of my head. I think it might be sub 200. I could be wrong, but even smaller. And they go to some neat itineraries. So if you kind of want to get that like old school sailing, they have
those. These are some of those ships where you can like kayak off of each ship.
So we joked that she was like, man, I wish we were in a warm itinerary, but you can just like jump off the back, go have fun. Like, and their new ocean ships are building that into it as well. So it's going to have
that's so cool.
I do too. It reminds me of like what Paul Gauguin does, or even like Flora and the Galapagos, right? You know, they have like the platform at the end. You just like yak and off you go. So I think it's a neat product. I am kind of excited about their new ships. And you know, it is a brand I think that really is good for a lot of people. They have really good pricing. They do like all inclusive pricing, so it's drinks, Wi-Fi, gratuities, all in. Excursions not included, but you know that's kind of what probably keeps the price down a little bit.
That's awesome. Well, it sounds like you had a lot of fun.
I did. It was fun.
And keeping it in cruise news, our favorite.
Finally, actually, one of my favorite cruises of all time was with you on the Allure. It was a lot of fun.
It has our favorite ship musical on board. It is so fun. I am very sad that the champagne bar is probably gonna meet its demise.
But you know what though? Praise the gods, it's not gonna be the Bionic bar.
No, this is true.
So the Bionic bar is kind of seeing its heyday and phasing out. I did Utopia of the Seas, and they had the pesky parrot bar, which is basically lime and coconut. Same kind of tiki bar feel, right there where the champagne bar is on the Allure. And honestly, it was fun.
It's just, you know, I am hoping that it keeps that space for like a handcrafted more style.
So the pesky parrot on Utopia was handcrafted, but it was definitely like tiki in nature. So more like your Mai Tais, your rum-focused drinks, less French 75s, less Negronis.
Yeah.
But I think that fits the feel. And you know what? We'll save this while they're doing the story at the end of the show. They're adding some water slides. They're adding the they actually are. I'm actually looking at it now. They actually are adding pesky parrot. Lime and coconut's going by the pool. My mistake. They are adding pesky parrot. They're adding a Playmakers on the promenade. They're in the mason jar, which honestly, that was. I
think Playmakers on the promenade makes sense.
I think it's great. I love it. Like honestly, Playmakers on the promenade is a lot of fun. Like I really like it.
Does that mean they're keeping Sabor on the boardwalk, or is that flipping to?
No, that's where Playmakers go. So I think it'll be Johnny Rockets and Playmakers.
Oh, when you said promenade, I was thinking like.
Oh my God! I'm sorry. The boardwalk. I'm sorry. The boardwalk. The boardwalk. The boardwalk. the boardwalk.
There we go.
Sorry, boardwalk. So it's going to basically mirror what the other ships have. They're adding the Ultimate Abyss. They're adding like laser tag. They're upgrading like Adventure Ocean. It's getting what it was supposed to get.
I will tell you, I was on her, and I do love her, but I was on her a year and a half ago, and she needs some love.
She needs some love. So I'm glad they are finally doing it. I saw an article in the Royal Caribbean blog where they ranked Oasis class ships, and it was like dead last. It pained me to see that, because for a long time the Allure was like my favorite ship. Like I love the Allure.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad it's getting some much needed love and attention.
Well, that's going to roll us into this next topic here, much needed love and attention. I think Disney broke some sound barrier at D23 or D23 last week. Lots of huge announcements, and I guess we'll start theme park.
Yeah.
You know how much Jason loves talking about Disney. So for those of you that love the Disney parks, I'll start over in California. And we'll keep it US based. I'm trying to remember what like Paris is getting to. I might be able to highlight that. But Disneyland California is getting an Avatar land, like fully themed. The concept art, incredible. The concept arts for all these things are just, if you get a chance to look, please go look. They're also getting a Coco themed ride and a new ride on Avengers Campus. So you got a new Marvel ride coming into the mix. And then in Disney World, which I think is getting kind of this really big overhaul in Animal Kingdom, they're phasing out Dinoland USA and Dinosaur, which frankly is needed to happen. It's kind of like a dead spot. That's been in this in-between for a while. They're getting a new Indiana Jones ride. It's going to be called Tropical Americas, that area of the park. And it's also being themed to Disney's Encanto, if you are into that. And Encanto is getting a ride as well. Heading over to Hollywood Studios. Hollywood Studios is getting a Monsters, Inc. land that will have rides. And have you seen the first Monsters, Inc. movie by chance?
Yeah.
So you know the scene where they're battling through the doors and they're swinging? They're doing a suspended roller coaster.
Okay.
Of that, where you're like sitting down and you are just pendulum swinging. Super excited for that one. And then I think the biggest news is in the Magic Kingdom park. It is doubling. It's close to doubling size of like at least half of Magic Kingdom, and they are adding a car section with 2 new rides to Frontierland, and they are adding, this has been speculated for years, a Villains Land. The concept art for this,
that's cool,
is incredible. It looks like from the concept art that one of the main beacons within this land will be like Maleficent's Forbidden Mountain. It is supposed to be dark, eerie, kind of a little scary. It's going to feature a couple rides, signature shopping, lounges. They're also adding a new Pirates Bar themed lounge into Magic Kingdom. But I mean, the concept art for this, like it's kind of creepy. It's a little eerie. Definitely something they haven't done before. So very excited for that. And then Epcot's also getting a new lounge. And then let's see here, Paris is getting a Frozen Land and something else too. Like it was just like there was a lot of theme park news. And I think because Universal is opening that next Epic Universe with the Mario stuff, like they needed to come out swinging hard to compete in that theme park space. So it was a lot. I sent it to my daughter and she's like, oh my God, like just take my money. But, and not just in theme parks.
No, they, Disney for a long time was kind of a cute little, I hate to say boutique, but that's kind of what it was, like a boutique cruise line. They had 3 ships and that was it. And then they came out and they were like a couple years ago, like, hey, we're going to come out with 4 new ships. Like, wow, like that's a lot. And then at D23, they're like, we're actually going to come out with 4 more for 8. They have 8 ships on order now. And I mean, all of a sudden Disney is turning into like they were already a big player, but they're turning into like just a major player offering more than just, they made their bread and butter doing lots of like 3-4 nights out of Pork Canaveral, 7 nights out of Pork Canaveral. That's just kind of what they did a lot of the time. And
well, and I think it kind of that stands for is they've seen that people are willing to pay families to go to Europe and still have that Disney touch and that Disney experience, and really that overall consistency to service that Disney's known for.
yeah,
And attention to detail. And it is, I mean, even that new ship that they have coming out, I think I talked about it last week when you weren't here, that Disney Destiny, that is a heroes versus villains theme.
that's
Some of
cool.
the stuff they're putting on that ship, it is credible, and it's probably, if not number one, number two most comfortable cruise bed I've ever slept on. Just going to throw that out there. It kind of makes me wish I had that mattress for my house. That great. You and I have been on some cruises where it's like, oh my God, my back.
Yeah, no,
it's killing me. But no, it's very exciting. They swung hard at D23 this year. There's
a lot of news.
Insane. So heading over to airlines, United.
This is cool. So how many times have you picked a seat and you don't really like your seat? Man, I wish I had an aisle, or I wish I had a window, or I'll take anything but a middle seat. You can now go into your United app, set your preference. Hey, I want an aisle seat. And if an aisle seat opens, it will just automatically just move you to another seat automatically.
I think that's pretty cool.
I think that's pretty cool. So if you're a United person, make sure to go into the app. I think it's live now. Update the app, set your preference, and that way you can just get the seat that you want.
That's really cool. And hopefully we'll get a little bit more details and can maybe show you next week. But United just also unveiled some of their new business class seating demo, and it looks beautiful. I know Claire is going to be excited for it.
Yes, she is. So I thought this was an interesting article. It wasn't news per se, but I thought it was kind of worthy of a conversation. So the Royal Caribbean Group has come out and they've said, like, yes, we've been really trying to court millennials. We've really been trying to court Gen Z, and it is working. And we see utopia of the, sorry, don't know why that thumbs up was there. We see
I wonder if I can do it. Sorry.
Yeah, we see utopia of the seas. They're really courting that younger family, younger single, younger college kid vibe. They're calling it the world's biggest weekend, right? There's no illusion as to what they're going for, just nonstop thrills, party vibe. And the average age of the Royal Caribbean international customer has gone down. The average age of even celebrity has gone down. And surprisingly, on like Silver, even like on Nova, they're starting to get those like senior millennials, kind of, the my age group, are starting to kind of start going into the luxury sphere. So Royal Caribbean is really just doubling down on trying to get college kids, families on Royals, 30, 40 somethings on Celebrity, 40s, 50s and above on Silver, and they say it's working.
Well, I mean, that's the way the sales process goes, is you need to keep evolving, finding what works, because even when you look generation to generation, Gen X in their 20s and 30s was interested in slightly different things than like millennials in their 20s and 30s and Gen Z. So keeping up with those trends, I mean, that's how you keep a sales pipeline and keep moving people through. And I mean, you kind of see that with you and I have joked and called it the royalification of celebrity.
Yeah.
But kind of just moving them through the brands. And I mean, that's really smart from a business perspective.
Oh, it is totally smart. I mean, I see it all the time, right? I see, people were doing 3 nights on Royal, then they were doing 7 nights on Royal, then they tried Celebrity, then they were doing Celebrity in the Retreat. And then as they're getting a little older, they're like, hey, well, what else is there after the Retreat? It's like, it's always the like, what's next? So, I mean, it makes total sense for Royal to have, stakes in the ground at like all 3 levels, intro, mass market, premium, luxury.
100%. So,
and also with the status matching they're doing, I have seen more people. Like I just booked somebody on silver for the first time today. They were elite with celebrity. Their status with silver gives them, I think it's the 250 Venetian nights, and that comes with a 10% discount. So because of their celebrity status, they go to silver and get a 10% discount.
And that makes sense.
It does.
Well, our tip of the day is unpublished rates. And you and I were having this discussion because you and I may or may not be going someplace over Thanksgiving together, long overdue trip. And we were crazy looking at some of the differences that you had using like Delta Vacations, for example. Their unpublished rates. Do you kind of want to share what that looked like? Because I know I was.
So a lot of vendors, when I say vendors, I say like airlines, hotels, and I think a lot of people are used to this on Cruising World, right? Cruising World, I think most people are used to there being unpublished group rates. I think that's kind of, people know that exist. That same type of, they're not group rates, but the same idea of unpublished rates exist in the hotel and the flight world. And especially when you bundle them together, that's when you start getting some deep discounts on air and hotel. And some of the rates I've been seeing for myself and clients have been shocking. When you bundle in a couple nights of hotel with the flight, I'm getting it for half what like Delta.com.
This was like a fraction, you guys. Like we had looked at like Delta One to this place in Europe we're looking at, and it was like $6,500 starting.
Like round trip, 65. Yep.
And by adding the hotel, it came down to 4,400.
Yeah, and that was with hotel. That wasn't the flight plus.
That was Delta One with hotel.
The hotel. And you earn Sky Miles in the whole thing, including the hotel. You're on the MQD.
And it wasn't like, it's a 4-star hotel.
Yeah. Yeah. So it is, I have been trying to spread this news, tell people, like, do not hesitate to reach out to me for flights, hotels, and there are just lots of ways to save a really good amount of money.
Yeah, you guys, there's a reason he's been on that. I need to make like that Viva La Revolution photo with your face on it and the flag, but it's like unpublished rates on the flag. I need that. That's the image that comes to mind. Because
it is. I mean, look, but there's just so many options out there, right? I mean, there are, like, I just got a whole list of unpublished rates with Regent 7 Seas, luxury cruise line. Like some of these prices
they're ridiculous. Like you and I have been talking about this. Like, can I like give a range?
Yeah.
Like Jason and I were talking. So Regent is like luxury. Like their dining room has Versace gold crusted plates. Like
it's nice.
Luxury. And it's pretty inclusive, right? Like drinks or something to a degree.
Yeah.
For a week on Regent, starting at like $3,500 to $4,000 per person.
Unbelievable. Like
for luxury.
Unbelievable. And it's like, that's your drinks, your mini bar, your gratuities, your Wi-Fi, all of your excursions, all of them. Of course, you can book something on your own, but like that's all of your excursions. That's your specialty dining. They have specialty dining restaurants, but you don't pay for them. You just make a reservation and just go. It's included. Like it's
it is wild. So when he,
I know some of these rates,
please look.
Yeah, I mean, do not hesitate to be like, Jason, can you help me with the flights, with the hotel? You have unpublished rates, or hey, I watched your travel show. You said something. You had some unpublished like cruise rates. It's like there are so many deals to be had.
Yeah. And even tackling into part of this, I know we talk about Delta Vacations because you and I fly Delta a good amount, but like American Airlines has their own version of Delta Vacations. They have their own versions of things. And if, that's where you're wanting to like stack your points, I'm going to put on a little points hat here for a second, like use your Delta Reserve card to book your Delta Vacation. Just start stacking up MQD, stacking up miles, and then also benefit from those savings.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, guys, that is a wrap. Haley, it was so good to see you again. I'm sorry I've been AWOL. I'll be here next week, and then after that, I'll be in Alaska. I'll see you in Seattle. You're not cruising with me, but I'll see you.
Yeah, we literally just realized that we're going to be in Seattle at the same time for two different reasons, but
yeah.
Wild.
So, guys, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye, guys.